All right, fine people of the internet, welcome. This is the Fuel, Fire, and Freedom, the Triple F podcast. My name is Brandon Bolach. I'm here in beautiful sunny Colorado this week. I journeyed away from Idaho, so that background is a little different for me. We are the rowdiest podcast on the planet. I can say that with 100% certainty because I have listened to every single podcast on the world stage, and I know that ours is the rowdiest. So take my word with absolute authority. Don't actually do that. This is all. This
I'm
is a
gonna need more
podcast where,
coffee for this.
yeah, we are a podcast. We're three good buddies. We've been friends since basically Vietnam, and we're here to have a good time. Talk about cars. We're talking about trucks. We're talking about freedom. So we got some good stuff to talk to you today about. We're gonna go through and we're gonna start by talking about small pickup trucks from different eras over the last 40 years, and then we'll move into why the hell headlights are so freaking bright these days. And then we'll talk about what we think you should be using for a home defense uh, weapon in various cases. And then we'll wrap that up with with Jordan's Steals, Deals, and Disasters. We'll go shopping on the marketplace, find something. We got a real treat for you there, so stick around for that. It's pretty unique, and if you're into hunting, you're gonna love it. And then we'll wrap up with Spencer's inflated 2 cents. It costs you a nickel these days. It used to be 2 cents, but there was 4 years of Joe Biden in the White House. So, with that, I'm with my two hosts, Spencer Medley, Jordan Hodap. And these guys are two professional mechanics. They do this for a living. I'm your weekend warrior. I throw wrenches at the wall. They actually use them. So without further ado, welcome guys. Let's get started.
I still have some wrenches in my wall.
They're still hanging there.
They might be in there a little. They can't get them out because they're too high. I threw them too hard.
They're up in. It's like when you're in gym class and someone kicks the ball up in the rafters and it's just stuck up there for
Right. You use another ball to
decade.
try and take it out, but you got two balls in the rafters. I don't have 1 inches no more. All my inch combo wrenches are gone. I just stare
That's
at them.
That happens to me when I jump in like a freezing lake. The balls go up into the rafters. All right. Well, sorry. I think I have a little bit of a cold going on, so if I sound a little scratchy, I apologize. But we're going to get into the battle of the small pickup trucks. So I think we should do this in a certain way. I think we should look at, small pickup trucks from pre 2000s. So I'd say anywhere from like 1985 to 2000. And then we'll take us like a snapshot in history and look at maybe 2010, because 2010 it was a bit of a transition period between the older, smaller, I would say actual small pickup trucks and the more modern, larger, mid-sized pickups of today. And then we'll move into as of today, what's sold today, what you should be, or what we would consider as the best of those small pickups. And I would say there's really only like the Ford Maverick and is the only real small pickup available these days, and the other options are all kind of mid-size. But we'll get into that. So, all right, guys, someone take over because I can't talk.
All right. Yeah, we'll start with the kind of pre-2000 pickups. You kind of got the big three going at it with a Dakota, Ranger, and the S10 pickup. And then you got the imports coming in with the Nissan, just your Toyota pickup from back then. And
that's kind of around the same time when the Tacoma started coming around too, right?
Yeah.
About midnight.
It's kind of that crossover generation.
Yeah, Tacoma came around in 95. So that was because before then we got the Toyota Hilux, or here it was just called the Toyota pickup. And then they 95 they switched us to the US only Tacoma, and I believe the T100 was introduced around the same time period. And
that was like the pre-Tundra.
Yeah, pre-Tundra. And then I think they wanted to call it the T150, and Ford sued them. I was like, you can't do that. But
Sounds
um,
about right.
yeah, I'm going off on a tangent already. But uh, yeah, no. So we got the Nissan pickup. I think it was the Nissan pickup too. The Nissan Frontier didn't come around until I
I
don't know.
think
I'd have
that
to look
was
this up.
early 2000s.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you on Nissan's. Datsuns.
Yeah.
Datsun's.
You know,
The
when
that's the old Google machine.
That I'm looking at.
Yeah. All right. So, there's a ton of other small pickup trucks here too. Like there's the Mazda B series, which I would just also consider a Ranger.
Japanese Ranger, yeah.
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 Yeah. So let's kind of focus on the Nissan, the Toyota, the Ford, Dodge, Chevy slash GMC. I think that's a good because I think that's a good list to go off of because there's more, but are we going to consider them as the best of those small pickups of the time period? I don't think so. I think it's going to
Top
be
five them.
Yeah.
We'll top five it.
The Nissan Frontier first year was 97. So I guess you could throw that in there.
yeah. Then they had a refresh in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
and then they had another refresh. I want to say around 2009 or 8 or something like that, and that was a good pickup truck. I remember that. But
But when it comes to comparing the older to the newer small pickups, I'd have to say that the older small pickups, in my opinion, were obviously a lot better. As far as quality, as far as following, as far as workability on them, as far as trying to work on them and all that good stuff. And it really held true to the small pickup um, initiative. I can't think of a good word for it. It's just when you say small pickup, I think small pickup is the pre 2000s pickup
Yeah.
in my mind. You go
The,
any closer to 2010, I don't even consider them a small pickup anymore.
yeah, I think they're considered now like a mid-size pickup,
yeah.
even though it's the same brand. It's just, and we could go into a little later. We can talk about why small pickups are no longer small. But yeah, so we can kind of just roll through these. So the GMC slash Chevy S10 slash Sonoma. What is that? Where do you guys think that one ranks when we're talking pre 2000s?
I think it kind of depends on what you're doing with it too, because those are kind of the fits any bill sort of
Yeah.
pickup. You
The
want a
aftermarket
slight
forms the
lift,
same.
and yeah, you want a slight lift, or you want to turn it into a drag car. You got
It's
options
super
for either one.
versatile.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and there were
Yeah.
a ton of them out there, so I mean they're good for a lot of different uses.
They're
Yeah,
still out there.
They were probably, I want to say they, at least in the mid 90s, they were probably one of the most powerful of
Yeah, they
all of
were.
them.
Oh, the cyclones and the typhoons.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were. I think there was something about them being the most powerful production
Th-
pickup.
They were faster than a Ferrari at the time in a drag strip. The Cyclone was, and the Typhoon, which is the SUV version, is a little slower just because it's um it's heavier. It's an SUV. It's not
yeah.
a pickup truck, but it's the same drivetrain. They were all-wheel drive. Um, it was oh, man, was it supercharged or turbocharged?
What was it? One was turboed, one was supercharged.
It was the same drivetrain. In fact, if you bought a Typhoon, the engine cover says Cyclone on it because uh
Goes.
yeah, fun fact, if you buy a GMC Typhoon, because the Cyclone came out first and they made the Cyclone, the engine cover on the Typhoon actually says Cyclone on it. They didn't feel like changing it, I guess.
Solid. Yeah,
That was
it's turboed.
turboed. Is it
Yeah.
it's not the 4.3, is it?
Yep.
Yep,
Same
4.3.
4.3 from the Grand National.
That's cool.
If I were to rank the pre-90s S10, I'd probably put it number 2.
Yeah. It's your number 1.
Well, Taliban's favorite pickup, I'd probably put it the Toyota. I, you know, the as far as durability goes, as far as I don't know too much about the aftermarket on those pickups, but it seems to durability and workability. I would say that Toyota is probably number 1 in my eyes. I'd say Toyota S10 Ranger is where I'd put them at. I
I think
like the Rangers, Brandon. I know you don't. I'm not stepping on your toes or nothing, but I'm just saying the
I'm quiet.
the
I'm
the
not saying
af-
anything.
the aftermarket helps the S10. I would say that the real life tests that we see that's these old Toyota pickups go through, I'd have to say that that's the winner in my book. I still love the old Rangers, but there's really not a whole lot of aftermarket for the Rangers as far as
Yeah,
that I'm aware of.
there's quite a bit out there, but it's not as apparent as some
You
of the
got
other
it.
stuff.
Yeah, you definitely have to go looking for it. It's not as much as honestly, I want to say it's about just as much as there is for the Tacomas and the Toyota pickup. There's really not much out there aftermarket for those. I think there's just the people who like those pickup trucks are really good about making customization on those
Yeah,
trucks. Aftermarket is definitely got to go towards the S10. What does the Dakota have going for it though? What
nothing.
do you
Nothing.
nothing?
What are we worried about? The Dakota did have this really badass. I think it's a Shelby version that
Yeah.
had the convertible top.
Mhm.
Those things are freaking sweet. There's one that runs around my area, a white one. And I finally saw it in person, and that's cool. But that's the only thing I've ever seen a Dakota being cool at.
That
You
was
know,
1989 was like, I think the only year they did that.
The
It had,
first generation Dakota is definitely the only Dakota that's I think worth even mentioning. The second generation Dakota, uh, still well, you know what? The second generation Dakota. All right, since no one's gonna talk anything positive about the Dakota,
you could get a
I'll say
V8.
some. Yep, you could get the 5.2 liter V8 in it, so it you get pretty good power, terrible fuel
It
mileage.
made 175 horsepower.
Yeah, it was choked out, but the
I
what
mean,
is it? So,
for the same amount of horsepower and a twice as big pickup that the Fords all had, it's still pretty good for the time period.
Yeah.
I think you can tow more with the Dakota than the others, and the I don't know as far as payload goes on those, but and then the second generation Dakota that I think introduced the 4-door small pickup truck, which obviously they're all 4 doors now, and no one buys a small pickup truck unless it's a 4-door. But that started it. So the Toyota didn't start it, Ford didn't start it, Chevy didn't start it. It was the Dakota that started that 4-door pickup truck. So small size pickup truck. So I'll give it its credit. It's there. I think it also had a solid front axle, didn't it?
I don't think so.
I know the second
At least
generation did not, but I thought
I
the
don't
first
think so.
generation did.
Um, I'd have to look into that, but no, I think the only
Doesn't
thing that
sound
had
familiar.
the only early small pickup that had a solid front axle was the Toyotas.
Toyota pickup.
I think I would, as far as in order of preference, I'd do a Toyota pickup, then a Ranger, then an S10. Kind of similar reasons to you, Spence.
For personal bias.
Yeah.
The only thing, I see a lot of outside of our group. I see a lot of like modified Toyotas. I see a lot of modified S10s. I don't think I see as many Rangers, um, especially these older ones, as modified or as mainstream. I don't see a lot of them lining the Instagram pages. It's usually a tubbed out S10 or the so when you get into the early 2000s, Z71s or whatever that they all are lifted and modified, and even then, those I don't really see a whole lot of. So,
Yeah.
and I
Well,
go ahead.
I do recall recently watching a video that one of you guys sent me of someone put a 6-liter Power Stroke in a first generation Ranger and was running it down a drag strip.
That's one of the first ones that I've seen of that generation Ranger. We're talking about mid to late 80s Ranger that somebody swapped a 6-liter Power Stroke into. That's probably one of the more I use this word loosely, famous Rangers of one that you've actually seen a lot of as far as exposure through the social medias, just because of how wild that build is.
Yeah.
Would have thought sticking a freaking go and blow 6.0 into a into a Ranger. That's just wild, and I commend those guys. That's a lot of fucking work.
I know. So we picked up that Ranger last weekend. It's actually an 88.
Okay.
Single cab old ranch truck that the guy just parked. He bought a new truck and just parked it there. But I have that 6-liter engine, trans, and T case sitting up in Fort Collins. So
About a mid-engine Ranger.
right, rear engine.
So this
Get some high
Ranger,
pinion 9s in there or something.
Yeah. V drive.
so this Ranger that you just picked up, it's quickly turning in from a commuter to another project, huh?
Probably.
I need a daily for my daily.
Yeah. The daily has become a project. It's a 2.3 manual trans, just bare bones truck.
Is it 4-wheel drive?
So, yeah.
It looked like it was high enough.
Yep. 4-wheel drive.
I think my ranking goes Ranger, Toyota pickup, S10, Nissan pickup actually, and then Dakota. And the only reason the Ranger goes number one is because they had the Splash Edition. The Splash Edition was so good. it's that cool.
Oh no!
I can't keep a straight face. Look, if you think of the 1990s of a small pickup truck, if you don't think of a Splash Ranger, you're doing something wrong. No, the Rangers, especially with the 4-liter Ranger, is a really solid power plant. 4-liter Ranger, you could get the Mazda 5-speed behind it. Really solid truck. If you're gonna get one of these, get a manual transmission. You get the Ford 8.8 in the back, the twin traction beam Dana 35 up front. They're solid pickup trucks. They go forever. They don't die. They're the best beat up pickup truck there is. And as far as modifications go, Spencer, you're probably not seeing them on your Instagram unless you're looking at pre-runners, because Rangers are really, really popular as a pre-runner platform.
Yeah, definitely.
They are,
that's
I
true.
want to say that they're the most popular, even more than the Toyotas. Like I'd say it's Rangers and then Toyotas as the most popular use for pre-runner builds and modifications.
Yeah, and anyone building like a long travel pre-runner front end that's 4-wheel drive is using the basically older twin traction beam front end setup.
Yeah, there was
Good point.
remember that Forerunner that we were looking at? That it was
Yeah.
a fourth
So,
gen Forerunner
yeah, it was
that
a 4th gen.
the guy swapped a Ford twin traction beam underneath it, which is pretty freaking cool and a cool
I
build.
hear a
So
lot of guys like the van traction beams. I think they're. I don't.
For 2-wheel drive, yeah, because they're longer.
Is that it? I knew there was something different with the van
Mhm.
bars.
yeah, so I gotta put the Rangers as my number one. Obviously, I have a biased opinion. I've been driving I've been driving a Ranger since 2015. So I love the Rangers, but they're they're good pickup trucks. The Toyotas have a problem with rusting.
Yeah, the engine outlives the body on those.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
But it
they all
is
do out here, but
yeah, but it is impressive when you think about it. They are incredibly robust. And I think I look back at what Top Gear did with that Toyota pickup, and I've seen tons of videos where the whole thing is just built to crap, or it's just absolutely destroyed, and then it still fires up. So you got to give it to the Toyotas in terms of rely or just it's a resilient platform. The S10, obviously, I think, like you said, Spencer, they're solid pickup trucks too. They're hard to kill, and a lot of people modify them, especially for street. Like I see more, like I don't see people really modifying an S10 for off-roading. I see people modifying an S10 for street and for drag strip racing. That's kind of where I see it. And maybe I'm wrong in that. And if you're listening to this and you have an off-road built S10, send me an email. I'll happily admire your off-road S10, and I'll give you credit where it's due. Cause there's always someone out there that, well, I put solid axles onto this Honda CRV, so this thing's great. Now I'm gonna
well,
get
you were
hate mail
talking,
from I'm gonna get hate mail from all the CRV guys, but but
and
yeah.
I
So
will
my
say that since we're talking about the general public, for reference, I am not an expert. I don't have great um, uh, opinions upon these little trucks. I'm 6'6" and 340 pounds. I don't fit in them. Okay. Anytime it's a struggle to drive any small pickup for me. Okay. So my opinion is going to be wildly different from anybody else's. But you made a remark about the 4 liters, how great the 4 liters. I want to know, I want to know Jordan's opinion on a 4 liter. Because I unfortunately, Brandon, it's one spot where I'm going to have to disagree with you myself. But I'm curious what Jordan thinks about the 4 liter.
there's
The
two types of
I
four
was to say
liters.
which
There's
version.
overhead valve and then the single overhead cam.
The
I'm
sock motors are okay
I agree.
as long as you don't have to do timing and stuff like that, because that gets to be a absolute disaster. But
that's where I'm at too. I
yeah,
honestly think that the better Ranger powertrain. And of course everyone's gonna disagree with me here. Um, it's not a powerhouse by any means, but the 3 liter I'm a pretty big fan of just because of how easy they are to fix.
yeah,
It's a push rod motor that just it it's almost built like an FE as far as the top end goes, but I think, and if anybody ever comes up to ask me, oh, I'm looking for a little Ranger and it's got a 4 liter in it, I said, well, you better hope the timing chains are okay.
yeah.
And they, well, what do you mean? I said, if you find a 3 liter, yeah, the heads crack, but the heads are like $100. You know,
and
but
And it's like
they're easy
18
to do.
bolts to get them off.
yeah,
The
exactly, exactly.
so
But that's the thing with Toyotas, though. They're all either timing belt or chain driven. There are no really in that generation pushrod motors or anything like that.
yeah, the 22RE and 22R, and then you have that's a good engine, and then you got the 3-point slow, And that's lackluster, and
Yeah.
it's reliable, but it's
No,
lackluster.
it's not. No, it's not.
It's not. And then I'd
They
say
have
that,
head gasket problems worse than 6 liters. They're
yeah,
they're the original head gasket problem child.
I like the 3.4, the Toyota 3.4 that came out
Mhm.
in '95. That's a really good motor. The 22RE, that's a good motor, but yeah, stay away from the 3.0. And in the Ranger, so it was the 4 liter was the overhead valve 4 liter until '97. '98 was the first year of the single overhead cam. And I think so because we're looking at pre-2000s, most of these engines that we're talking about in the Ranger are going to be an overhead valve engine, and those I'll put my stamp of approval behind. If it's worth anything, I'll I'll put a brand stamp on it and say that that is a good engine.
I
Yeah.
will say, even though I rank the Ranger lower on my list, the really cool Rangers of that era that I
Splash,
really love. Yeah,
splash.
I can't get enough of the splashes. No, I love the little diesel Rangers.
Yeah.
The little diesel Rangers that there again, you don't have any power, but they're so freaking neat. You know, they,
I want to
I'm
say
not
they had
gonna
like 50 horsepower or something like that.
they don't have nothing for horsepower, but they're just so freaking cool. There's a couple running around the neighborhood here. We had a cruise in this last year, and actually a kid showed up with a single cab Ranger. And the thing was leaking coolant the entire way through this parking spot. I was thought, man, that's cool, but that's just it's par for the course, you know. We also have another one around here where old farmer took a Volvo turbo and end up putting on a little 4-wheel drive diesel Ranger. And that's pretty. I mean, they're of course that's a modified deal. So, but it's just I think that little diesel's really neat and in that platform. So
You
it
talking about
didn't
the
last very
Perkins
long.
that's in it?
Yeah, the little I think it's like two Perkins or something like
Yeah.
that. It's pretty
It's a
neat, but
generator motor.
yeah, exactly. It's for little freaking compact tractors.
Mm-hmm.
So it
That's still cool though. I
it
like
is
those.
neat.
All right. Well, I think we all have talked enough about the pre-2000s, so let's jump up to 2010, snapshot in history, because this is kind of the transition period where you still have, some of the old small pickup trucks hanging around, and you're starting to get into the small pickups moving into the mid-size category. So the S10, that's gone. It's now the GMC Canyon, the Chevy Colorado. You have the Ranger is still around, and it is literally unchanged since 1998, with the exception of appearances. It is the exact same pickup truck from 1998. 2011 was the last year of the Ranger before the reintroduction. And then, um, let's see, we got the Toyota Tacoma, and you got the Nissan Frontier, the newer redone Nissan Frontier. And you still have the Dodge Dakota that's still around. And
Unfortunately.
unfortunately, it's dying. It's dying, but it's around. Uh, and I think that's really about it as far as I don't think I'm missing any major pickup trucks. Let me check my list and make sure I'm not forgetting anything.
I don't think so. The I don't know. From 2000 to 2010, there was so much change in technology and body styling, and that's kind of when the sizing started
Yeah.
to really change. Even like late 90s, when
Mhm.
the sizing started to change.
The
It's hard to beat like a mid 2000s Tacoma though.
it really is.
3.4, the auto trans, even they run forever.
Well, let's see. The 2010, didn't the Toyota Tacoma had the 4 liter in it. So a 4 liter, I'm putting Tacoma number one for me.
For a
Four
4-liter.
4-liter Tacoma. I'm putting that as number one. You could get it in 4-door. You could get it in it with a 6-foot or what? You can get a 2-door. You can get it. Uh, I'm putting a Tacoma number one. I'm putting the Frontier number two, the Nissan Frontier, and then I'm gonna go. Ugh, I I really don't like the rest. I'm putting Dakota last.
I think Dakota's going to go last no matter what we do.
You
Yeah,
know,
I'm putting
surprisingly, I would not put Dakota last. I'd put it second to last.
Ranger second to last. I'm
Really?
putting I'm putting Ranger second to last.
For 2000 to 2010?
No, just for 2010.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I'm looking at like in around that time period, plus or minus a couple of years, like 2010, plus or minus a couple of years. I'm putting the Ranger as second to last, just because it's literally unchanged from 1998. It was if you are still wanting that actual, what I would say is the actual true small pickup truck, that's the one to get. The
Yeah.
rest of them are not the small pickup trucks anymore. So if you
Oh.
want that small pickup truck, but you want something newer, that has maybe less miles on it, the Ranger is the one to get, hands down, because it's the only one really left. The rest of them they've all had their protein shakes and their weight gainers, and they're all massive comparatively to the old pickup trucks. I think I have to put the Chevy Colorado third, which makes me kind of want to like, but surprising, what if I was to get one of those platforms though, I would get the Hummer H3T, which was available at that time period. And I would get the Hummer H3T Alpha, which has the 5.3 liter V8 in it.
I'm not picking that if I have to work on it.
That's fair.
That is going to the scrapper if I have to work on that thing.
If you
That's-
want a small pickup truck with a V8 platform that's good off road, and you're trying to build an overlander, I don't
It's an
think
overlander.
I think people sleep on the H3T Alpha. I think it's a good off road. Now I don't have the experience of working on one like you might, Jordan. So why does it suck working on them?
Stuffing 10 tons of shit in a
anything
half-ton
Hummer,
box.
just anything Hummer was always, it was all vanity over function.
Yeah.
Really. I don't remember ever working on a Hummer and enjoying it. Any Hummer model. So, but the Hummer is based off of the Colorado platform.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah, um they went all the way from a 2.9 4-cylinder, which I've had the joyful experiencing a kid in local here. He's blown up 2 motors now. One original, one a reman. I don't think it was his fault the reman blew up though. But then you get to that 4.2 inline motor, and then you obviously have a 5.3 in the SS platforms and everything. Everybody that has an older Colorado seems to like it okay. To me, they're trailblazers with pickup beds, and I don't like trailblazers, man. There's a guy on YouTube that's now experimenting with those inline sixes, the 4.2s, with boosting them and everything, trying to make a Maribera, I think is what they call them, and a 2JZ competitive thing, and all for it. I think he's down in like the 9s or 10s right now in a quarter mile with these in Camaros.
That's
And
pretty good.
I got to see it firsthand at Six Summer, and I came up. I admit to it. I came up to him like, "Is that 2JZ?" Wait a minute, that fucking timing cover don't look like it's a 2JZ at all. But anyway, I digress. I would say that uh, my bottom end of the list would probably, I might be contradicting myself a little bit, but I'd say the Nissan.
I th- why?
I
That's your
do
bottom of
not.
the barrel.
That's the bottom of the barrel because for me it's the experience of driving that truck. It's just absolute shit. I think it's like a little Tykes car inside the way that now listen, okay, every truck, yeah, it even in the you can argue the 90s and up there, of course the interiors are going to be really heavy in the plastic department, right? But I'd hate driving a fucking little Tykes car that I really know that's plastic, that's plastic, that's plastic. The frickin' the poverty buttons are in your face, you know. I got a base model. What? Isn't there supposed to be a button there? Isn't there supposed to be a button there? the there's not enough. I don't work on enough Nissans to really develop a really good opinion about them. But I just from the fact alone that the interiors suck
Yeah.
Well,
is
2010 is the prime plastic interior, like crap quality. Like that time period, all the vehicles built at that time period. I'm surprised the seats weren't
right,
made of plastic. Like
right.
you just,
I mean, they all have them, right? But Nissan is just in my face. Like you chose a go on it, buddy. It's a green light there, Fisher Price. Keep on moving, you know. But that
Yeah, I like how they just put the delete plugs for all the buttons in there.
the poverty buttons.
Yeah.
You got a base model, son.
Yeah. We're going to tell everyone you got a base model.
well, I gotta defend it. I gotta defend the Frontier because I put it as my number two. And I put it as my number two. It was refreshed in 2009. And when it was refreshed, it's, I think it's more reliable than the Chevy GM platform. I think it's got way more power than the Ranger. It's got 261 horsepower, 281 foot-pounds of torque out of a 4-liter dual overhead cam V6. I think they're fairly reliable. I think they run pretty good. It's got a decent 5-speed transmission behind it, so you're not worrying about the transmission behind it. And I think they're decent. The only thing I think that beats it is the Tacoma. Now, I'm not really grading as far as interior quality goes. I kind of think all these trucks have shitty interiors at this time period. Um, they
Pretty
really,
much.
I really do. I don't like a single interior on any of them.
Yeah, I think I'd put the Tacoma as number one. I'd honestly put the Ranger as number two just because it's, yeah, like you said, it's the true small
Small
pickup.
pickup truck.
Um,
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna put the Ranger as my number three. I'm moving GM down. Like you said,
yeah.
it's a trailblazer with a pickup bed.
It is. But there again, there's where we're at now. So I will tell you from being from the Rust Belt, the Colorado is the most renowned taco truck around here. It rusts right at the front of the front leaf purchase, right at the gas tank, is the worst, and it just fucking. I had a freaking Colorado in. It was 2-wheel drive. I couldn't tell you what motor it was because we were too busy focusing on what the hell's going on in the back end. The complaint was anytime I hit a bump, I have to replace the fuse for the fuel pump. I'm
Every
running
time.
out. Yep, every time he hits a big enough bump, the fucking fuel pump fuse broke. He goes, I'm running out of fuses. I need to get this figured out. Okay, so we bring it in, and I don't know why for the I had three sets of eyes on this truck, and we missed it 3 times, but the frame actually it rusted on the inside, and the spring perch bracket slid in between the frame and the fuel tank and actually pierced the frame harness, and it was just enough into the harness that it was whenever you hit a bump, it would arc off of the wire for the fuel pump.
Ground it out and pop the
It ground it
fuse.
out and pop the fuse, and that was the first time that we started realizing that these Colorados aren't really built for salt. And so
Yeah.
every Colorado that comes in, we have to track the frame before. And we have had a little over a handful of Colorados where we said we can't really work on it until either the frame is fixed or something else is taken care of about the frame, because um, that's really the biggest issue that we have with Colorados right now. Now, brand new, yeah, I'm sure they were fantastic trucks and everything. There's the 5.3s are have a lot of get up and go, but the way I see it, I would put I just because of my personal experience with them, Nissan at the bottom. I'd put the Dakota on top of them. Um, I I don't see enough Toyotas to form an opinion on them, but I do know that there's obviously a good following on them, and they are reliable. I'd probably end up putting that right in the middle at 3. Um, and then I really have a hard time deciding on one between the Colorados and the Rangers. I'd probably put the Rangers up above the. I'd probably put Ranger at 1, Colorado at 2, just because I really don't like any of these trucks. so so this is a real challenge for me to try and
Any of
rank them,
these.
and
Yeah.
because there again, I'm having such a terrible time trying to drive them. I can't really enjoy the rest of the truck. So it it to me, I would say that the Ranger's up there. Yeah, it hasn't changed for 10 years and everything, but there again, you kind of there again, the you a 3-liter Ranger is going to be your cheapest commuter truck. Um, I would never suggest anybody to buy an overhead cam 4-liter. Um, it's just a terrible. I hate to work on those engines. I'm sure there's guys that's their bread and butter, but it's just not my thing.
Yeah, they do suck to work on. At least like internal engine stuff. Everything else is easy though.
Well, that's why I put it as 3, because also you start to see a lot less of the manual transmission Rangers, and you see a lot of the automatics behind it, and those automatics they're not really worth you much. I
Yeah.
I want to say so. That's why obviously I love the Ranger. I am a diehard Ranger guy, but I cannot with due conscience put it above the Tacoma of this era. It's just these Tacomas from this era, they don't die. They're just solid platforms, and there's a ton of aftermarket accessories. This is when I think you're starting to see a lot of these used, kind of the beginning of the overlanding phase, which now the Forerunners and the Tacomas are fan favorites for the overlanding, right? It's like those kind of builds, and I think this generation of Tacoma is kind of the start of that, and it has an incredible amount of aftermarket, and it doesn't matter if you have the manual transmission version or the automatic transmission version, they are a solid pickup truck. And
I
yeah.
mean, really, 2010 is right where you start seeing less of manuals anyway, because that's the last year of a Power Stroke to have a manual. That I mean, Chevy got rid of theirs in '08, I believe it was '07, '08. And so I mean, I think just that's right when you started seeing the big collapse of stick shifts.
Well, so Jordan, I think I cut you off at your number 2. So what was your the rest of your list looking like? I think you're on mute, but
think something happened with his deal.
Yeah, we lost you for a second. He
Come
went to
back!
he
Come
went to Nether
back!
he went to Netherlands. It's with the Lost Boys.
He's gone.
You know,
We didn't want to hear your opinion anyway.
yeah, your opinion is silence.
What's your opinion? Boop.
I hope he can hear us right now. That'd be I can't. No, not hearing you. I mean, I don't know why. You're not muted on my end. I'm gonna take this moment while you figure this out to go take a piss.
This break is brought to you by laxatives. I hope everything comes out okay. Jordan, you just move your lips and we'll start saying things for you. And then, be like a ventriloquist dummy. I see you moving, but I don't hear you. Before you went out, the whole screen went black. It's like your camera disconnected or something. Well, hey, sweetie. Did everything come out okay?
It did. It all came out the right hole. Has he figured out his microphone yet?
No, I told him that we're going to ventriloquist this shit. So he's going to move his lips and we're going to give him his opinion.
His opinion is Dakota #1, and
He can't get enough of the Dakotas.
he loves the Dakotas so much.
Oh, there he goes. There he is.
Can you hear me at all?
Oh, yeah. You're really prominent.
Prominent. Okay. For some reason,
He
I think the
speaks.
mic died.
Oh,
So it disconnected from itself. So now we've got. Let me just try something else.
he speaks again. Oh,
Yeah.
nope, lost you. Back to being a Dakota lover.
How about we still good there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
No longer a Dakota lover. Now he's a Dakota lover.
I likes Dakotas.
Loves
What
Dakotas.
the fuck? That's what he just said.
Okay. We're going to run off of this mic now.
Okay. You're really loud now.
Yeah. Hold on. Is that any better?
Yeah, it's good. It's fine.
Okay.
I can turn mine down on my end when you make my ears bleed. I can.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole video screen went black and then the mic disconnected.
Yeah, we saw you. We saw we lost you, and then you came back.
I'm on a separate recording track now, so it's like I lost connection to Riverside there.
Weird.
So we'll see how this turns up later when I'm editing.
Yeah, hopefully this doesn't fuck the episode up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's your number 3, Mr. Dakota lover?
My number 3 is not a Dakota. I would say the Colorado or something along those lines. And then the Nissan and then the Dakota. Dakota is going to be my last. Every time.
It was
60% of the time, every time.
Sex Dakota.
I don't have much positive things to say about the Dakota.
Let's move on
unfortunately.
to the next generation here.
Yeah, so modern day, it's 2025, 2026. You're looking to buy a small pickup truck. What is it that you buy? I think at this time period, we have the Dakota. Sorry, my brain
It's got
just
Dakota on the brain.
Yeah.
I just Jordan just loves Dakota so much that I can't get it off the front of my brain. No, we have the Tacoma, the Toyota Tacoma, which is the segment leader, most sold are the Tacomas. You have the Ford Ranger. So Ford brought back the Ranger at this point. It's finally had its protein shake. It's had its mass gainer. It's bulked up like the rest of them. You got the Chevy Colorado, and then Nissan Frontier is still hanging around. I'm putting Frontier last. I think it just, while the rest made some drastic improvements from 2010 to 2025, 2026. While the Frontier did come out with a new pickup truck, I'm still putting it last. It's the last I buy. Um,
Yeah.
I think the other three, it's really hard, honestly, to argue which one to get. I think they're all three excellent pickup trucks. Now, none of them are a small pickup truck by any means. They're all basically the size of an F-150 from, you know, 1997 or 2000. They're all huge these days, but I think they're all turbo 4 cylinders now. And then, except you can get you can get the GMC and the Chevy with the little diesel now.
Yeah. You can.
Is the Duramax, the baby
It's
Duramax still around?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
the
baby D-Max.
3 liter Duramax. That, besides the fact that the freaking timing belt is on the back of the engine, I think that's an excellent option. I'm gonna put the Ranger number one here. I think the Ranger is the best option out of them. And if I was to buy one, I'd go top notch. I'd get the Ranger Raptor. It is freaking sweet. It is a sweet pickup truck. It is super capable. It I think it, hands down, I think it's the best of these trucks. Then I'd go Tacoma. Well, no, actually, I think I might go with I'd go with the GMC Canyon, and I'd put Tacoma as third.
I would do Ranger. Ranger's my number one pick if it's a Ranger Raptor.
Yeah.
Because you can get
What
the
if it?
3 liter.
I guess let's expand on that. So, how do we feel about just the regular, like if it's not a Ranger Raptor, it's just a Ranger?
I don't know. The 2.3 runs decent. The 2.3 EcoBoost in those, but it's still not great. I don't know. I don't like any of these new smaller pickups, so it's hard for me to say much about them.
I still think the Ranger is my number one, even if it's not a Ranger Raptor. I think it's
Yeah, I'd probably do Ranger number one, Tacoma number two, and not a huge fan of the Colorados and Canyons.
well, my father-in-law's got a brand new GMC Canyon, so I have to give it some love.
If you're hearing this,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
rat me out.
If
But
he's listening to this, no, I think it's a good platform. It's got the most power out of them. The the Chevy and the GMC do. I think I really like the mini Duramax option that you can get in these trucks. And I think
You don't want to work on one.
you don't want to work on any of these now. Any of these new pickup trucks are all extremely complicated and not easy to work on. So I just chop that up to, it's just kind of a fact of these newer trucks is they're all going to be a pain in the ass to work on. And so I don't know. I still think the G or the mini Duramax option and the Chevy platform GMC platform. I'm putting that number 2. And then the Tacoma, I think honestly is overrated. It'll hands down of the 3 of them, it'll hold its value the best just because it has built such a cult following, a loyal following, and it's going to have the best aftermarket support of the 3 pickup trucks. But I think uh, I'm less confident in Toyota's platforms now with the modern turbocharging that they're putting on these pickup trucks. The it
They're just
can't.
following everyone else
Well, you
doing
have
that.
to.
The
You
rest of
have
them
to.
are all turbo.
Yeah, you have to if you're going to try and compete with because of emission standards and everything and power wise, you got to put a turbo on them. But what I'm saying is now we haven't heard anything about I haven't heard anything about the Tacoma turbocharge having problems, but the Tundras are just they've had problems after problems with the Tundra motors, and so
Yeah.
it's enough for me to question whether this is the Tacoma I want to get. Now, if you go back 5 years to when it was the 3.5 naturally aspirated Tacoma, I think that's a really good pickup truck. And I would put that in that time period, I'd put that number 1. But if we're to buy one today, I'm going Ranger, I'm going GM, then I'm going Tacoma.
I'm actually going to change my number 1, and I'm going to say it's the Jeep Gladiator.
I was gonna say if we're gonna add the Jeep in this thing,
We're missing one here.
We should definitely
We're
throw the
missing
Jeep
one
in.
here.
Why?
As far as aftermarket support, they're still fairly durable.
still a Jeep.
That's still, I know
They're still a Jeep.
it's hard for me to pick a Jeep in anything, but that's
You put it straight number 1.
Yep, I did.
You're
Still a solid front axle.
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say. It's not the most capable. Yeah, it's 100% the most capable. Aftermarket support's all there. It's probably, in my opinion, the easier option to work on. Get parts for it. It's all the same across a lot of platforms. So that's my updated number 1.
Updated number 1. Where do I put the Gladiator? I still put the Ranger number 1. I'll put the Gladiator. I'm putting Gladiator number 4. I'm putting it behind the Tacoma. It is really capable. It is the best off-road of the trucks. But I don't know if it's a Jeep.
So
And it's a modern Jeep. I don't want to say that all Jeeps are bad, but it's a Stellantis built modern Jeep, and that is enough. If I'm questioning whether Toyota's modern turbocharging is, I'm extremely I have extreme questions for anything on the Gladiator.
Yeah.
What do I think? What do I think will still be
the Mojave version is pretty cool because it comes with the Fox 2.5 shocks. I mean, you have a lot of off-road stuff that's already built into this, and it's not the Ranger Raptor price tag either.
Yeah, if you want, that's true. I mean, if you want to put a lift on it in 37s, like a 4-inch lift in 37s, the Gladiator's your platform.
Yeah, you can just do a 2-inch lift and fit 37s on it.
Yeah, and if that is what you're going for, if you're looking for to get way back in the backcountry, do some rock crawling, stuff like that, the Gladiator is the platform to get. But it's a lot more niche than the other pickup trucks are.
I don't know.
I really want a Ranger Raptor. I would.
It's still a small pickup.
Even that's debatable.
It is still a mid-size pickup.
Yeah. There you go.
I just have a hard time with any of them. I hate them all.
I hate them all. Yeah.
Anytime anybody comes and asks for my suggestion of buying I want to get a Colorado or a Ranger, I said, just buy an F-150. Just go and buy a 1500. That I do not have, someone can probably change my opinion on this, but I do not understand the point of spending the same amount of money on something with essentially it's like a sports car, but it's ugly and you don't really need you like there's no reason to have a slower, slightly smaller pickup. It just or sports car in that sense. I just the when the Colorados and the Canyons had the same V6 that was in the Traverses and the Acadias that were blowing timing chains and fucking water pumps and power steering pumps, and then he put it in a pickup and the guy thinks that he can tow with it. Like, don't do that. Please don't do that. Just go buy a V8. Go buy a 1500 and tow with that thing. You're don't. There's so many people that buy a truck and think that it's going to do truck things, and they're not. In my eyes, they're not built to do truck things. That
Yeah.
it's for the bed space to pick up the lazy boy on the weekends, and to make sure the kids get to school every day. It's honestly just to me it feels like a useless pickup.
It's
Yeah, I
definitely
think
not. Sorry, go ahead, Jordan.
I don't know. I think it's got its purpose here and there, but yeah, it's not something you're gonna be pulling a car hauler with or anything like that. You're not towing a ton with it.
I see it as people who I see it live in an urban environment. They don't have a ton of space, so they don't want to go for a full size pickup truck, but they want a truck, so they end up with the small mid size pickup truck. I'm with you, Spencer. These are not your old farm pickup trucks that are being put to work. These are for people who probably could get away with a crossover or even a sedan most of the time, but they want the occasional capability of a four-wheel drive and a truck to maybe go do things. And are they using them for those capabilities? I don't know, but you know what? Who cares what they use them for? That they, it's their truck. They like, I don't care. I don't want people can judge how I use my vehicles. I don't give a shit. So,
I mean, a
they
guy at
Name on
want
the
work,
title.
yeah,
yeah.
guy at work just bought a Gladiator, and um, he doesn't use it to pull a trailer or anything like that, but he hauls a couple of dirt bikes with it. And so for him, he needs the bed, but he doesn't want to use his Duramax every day for that. So that
Oh,
fits the bill pretty
yeah,
damn good for him. So,
yeah, makes
and it's
sense.
somewhat off-road capable too, so he can, you know, clear out. They can go drive a trail too. Gives him a lot of options on what to do.
Yeah.
Well,
All
we're
right,
an hour
Spencer,
into
you gotta rank them though. We got it 1 through 5. Give it go.
Go
3, 2,
on.
1, go.
You can't make me. You're not my mommy.
Spencer puts them all in number
Spencer,
5.
all number 5. Yeah.
I let's see, where would I put him at? I'd probably put let's see, I'd probably say oh shoot.
Do
Put me
do
on the
do
spot
do
here.
do do do
I'm
do.
gonna say Ranger as much as I dislike oh man. It's we got a tough spot on 2 and 3 between the Colorado and the Gladiator and Toyota and Nissan there in the rear there. So there you go. There's my spot for them. That's about all I can say on them.
Everyone now knows that you do not like anything built past 1972.
Frickin' grandpa over here. Back in my day.
Pickup trucks were
we
used on the farm.
you, you ever hear of the magazine Mini Trucking? Those ain't mini trucks.
All right. Well, let's I think we've killed the small to mid-size pickup truck conversation. So let's move on to why the hell am I getting blinded by headlights when I'm driving to work now in the morning?
Yeah,
Because none of us can see.
yeah, we can't see. Nobody can see, so they want brighter lights. It's like and then you're driving around and everyone's got newer vehicle with super bright headlights, and then everyone else that doesn't have a newer vehicle is just using their high beams all the time to make it comparable,
Yeah,
especially out here. I don't know.
yeah. If you
I
live
want to
in a
put a
rural,
little blinder light on my A pillar that I can just turn on as they're oncoming. Just doop later.
A lot of these Super Duties now have really bright. I can't remember what they
oh,
call them. They're not. They're LEDs, aren't they?
yeah, they're LEDs.
So there, there's of course I remember the neighbor over here getting a brand new GMC pickup, and she had her brights on because she's trying to track down her son and her husband in the field. And I just remember seeing this freaking mini sun light up a timber. Oh, Jesus Christ, what kind of light bar is that? And so I had to go over there just to see what the hell's going on. It was at this time, it was 2, 3 years ago, and they got a new GMC Denali. Holy shit, those are some headlights, man. They
So,
have gotten a lot brighter.
so
Yeah.
to provide some context, so pre 2010, most headlights are using halogen bulbs, which have about a thousand to 1,500 lumen capability. Then you have the premium cars were using the HID or the xenon bulbs, which gave you up to about 3,000 a lumen. And then now a lot of the cars were using LED headlights, which produce about 2,000 to 4,000 lumen. Uh, they're about four to five times brighter than halogens. They, let's see what else. They are using bluer / whiter light, which is more.
That's why it feels brighter.
Yes, yeah. The human eye, light is more intense to the human eye. So the lumens, even if you had the same lumens as like an old halogen bulb, the wider, bluer LEDs are gonna feel more intense as you're driving down the road, make you want to squint more. Uh, in 2016, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety started rating vehicles for their headlights. And so this started pushing manufacturers to want to compete on who had better headlights for good scores. The average headlight brightness has roughly doubled in the last 10 years from 2015 from 9,000 to 19,000 candela
Yeah.
in brightness. So, and US regulations have not changed since the 1980s, really, on headlight brightness. So Europe actually has more regulations on what's allowed headlight wise, but the US it's pretty much anything goes for the most part. That's not a legal statement. I'm not a lawyer, but we are a lot less regulated than when it comes to Europe. And normally
Yeah.
I'm very very against regulations, uh, but I am getting blinded. I almost think the lights are so bright now that it actually presents a bit of a safety hazard. Because I can't see if there's another car coming down the road and I'm in, my 99 Land Cruiser. I can't see anything in front of me. It could be a deer coming across the road. All I see is two bright last white lights. So
At least you can see two of them. It just looks like one light to me.
yeah.
My astigmatism says something else.
But then
Absolutely.
I can't run my light bar going down the road. That's illegal. But these guys can have headlights
But
that are
yeah,
brighter than my light bar.
I know.
I shouldn't say light bar. I don't own a light bar, but
I have
lights.
Always
I
feel
have those
guilty. I always feel guilty. I've been driving around a '98 Chevy 1500 with my little candles up front, and I have to show the brights, going down the road. And next thing you know, I'm driving by someone. I might be off in Lululand thinking about something else, and by the time I get up to the car, I'm thinking, "Oh shit, my brights are still on." I've been I've been brighted less now with my brights on in the older vehicles, just because of this standard that
Yeah.
just got real bright lights on.
yeah, I have the 99 Land Cruiser. The headlights are, I put LEDs in, like LED conversion in for the low beams, but the high beams are still the old halogen bulbs. And I tell you what, I have those running down the road, and then other, I put the brights on when there's no one coming, like a good human being. And then I'll get in my Mustang, which is a 2018, and the low beams on that have better clarity, better brightness, more intensity. I can see more with those than I can with the Land Cruiser high beams on. It's just wild, the difference. My Kira's car, my wife's car, right? She's got uh the 2018 Subaru WRX, and her headlights actually move with the steering wheel. It's really cool. I'm sure it's whenever those break, it'll be really fun to replace that. But
Just
You're
don't
gonna
stare
break
a
and
lot.
it's gonna look like you're just you got your eyes going out.
yeah,
It'll cross eye, yeah.
What I like about the new pickup trucks is they turn on that fog light on that side. So if you're turning right, it turns on the right side fog light. It doesn't move the headlights themselves.
oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's
Ford's been
another
doing
thing.
that since like 2020.
Fog lights these days are people run down the road. If I'm getting blinded by people's fog lights now,
I'm that guy. Fog lights
yeah.
are on all the time.
I do feel, I'm with you, Spencer. I feel less bad if I accidentally have my brights on now, because it's
The
almost
fog
like
light.
it's anyone's game. Like, everyone's got to fight for the scraps. It just seems like
Yeah.
the common courtesy of not blinding people with lights is gone. It's like, oh, screw you. If you're gonna blind me, I want to keep my lights on.
The fog light debate has been a hot topic in my shop of whether to run fog lights or not. And every time that I had a mechanic in that, if he noticed that the fog lights were on in the automatic lights, he'd make sure that they were turned off when they left the shop. And so, but I always remember in my 6-liter, I'd run around town all the time. I always had the fog lights on because I thought it looked better. I was a high school kid. It mattered better to look cool and everything. But those fog lights weren't back. This is a 2003 F350. That, of course, those fog lights never blinded anybody. It just,
No.
there was something. It was almost a chicken light, just a look cool light. And the I distinctly remember a good friend of mine let me drive his 22 F350 home one night, and I can't tell you how many times that I got brighted just on his low beams, and it got me going to the point that I'm like, I'm on my fucking lows. You want me to bright you? I'll fucking bright you. Not my fucking hand was on the brights, just ready for someone to do it, motherfucker, do it. You want to see the sun? I'll give you the sun.
I'll give you the sun.
But it is definitely something that it's something that I've never seen before, and never something that I think that I'd have to complain about. I'm starting to sound like Harold here. God damn cats in their damn lights. I got just fine with my candles in my 46.
You go to start your car in the morning, and you take your matchbox out there, and you light you light your two candles.
Exactly. It's so insane how far technology has come in just, well, what, 10 years?
10 years, yeah. Yeah, it is. My point on this thing is something needs to change. There needs to be some kind of standard that we can set. Otherwise, cars are just I think it's just gonna keep getting worse and worse.
Yeah, it will.
And I think that poses a real safety hazard, honestly.
The problem is, like, LED technology has come so far too. I mean, we can make a single LED brighter than 10 years ago, 1,000 LEDs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like this little guy, a little Streamlight Wedge SL. It's one LED bulb in there. On low, it's 100 lumens. On high, it's 500 lumens. It has enough light intensity to light a cardboard box on fire.
I was waiting for you to turn it on while you were looking at yourself. You
It's
gotta
horror
look. You
time.
gotta look down at it.
No.
Don't want to blind the poor guy. But no,
Yeah,
Just do this. And then high.
jeez.
yeah, that's what I see going down the road these days.
Yeah, this is what it looks like.
Shit.
Um,
Yeah.
another thing I think people buy these new vehicles, they lift them and then they don't readjust the headlights down.
Oh, that's been a
There are
problem
some
for years.
there are some
Yeah.
states I know. I think Texas is one of them. They'll actually check to make sure your headlights are angled where they need to be. And that's an interesting, way of enforcing it. But yeah, I mean, if you lift your vehicle and you don't readjust your headlights, you're a jackass. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's me.
I can't adjust the 4Runner headlights down anymore.
Yeah, they're as far
It's-
down as they can go.
Yeah,
At least you tried. That's
I
A for
tried.
effort.
So I
Yeah.
added more lights to compensate for that.
I was such a dumb kid. I remember going through Denver with having a lift on the 6-liter and being in if I was in line for say McDonald's or whatever, I'd turn the headlights off just so I wasn't blinding whoever was out in front of me. This was a big truck by yesterday's standards, and I mean it was still a pretty tall truck today. If I still had that lift on and everything, but I got caught going down the road without my headlights on one night. All the street lights were on. You can see the street. My fog lights were on, but my headlights weren't. Getting pulled over. And why the hell is why is your headlights not on? Well, I'm blinding everybody. Well, you think that's kind of counterproductive? Well, you might be right, but I look cool. You know, I still look pretty neat, even though I'm a dumbass. I think I look pretty good. So
Looks before function any day of the week.
yeah, form over function. That's how we roll.
Yeah, that sounds like you should be driving a Hummer.
Yeah, I can't drive a toaster. A big whole box.
All right. Well, I think we all hate modern headlights. At least when we're staring into them. They're nice when you have them, but man,
I like
yeah,
being
it sucks
behind
when
him,
you're-
not in front of him.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll move on to today's freedom topic, which is what should people be using for home defense, whether that be a shotgun, a pistol, or a rifle. And I'm gonna open the floor I'm going to you, Jordan. What do you think makes sense for people? And then you can feel free to expand on what you think people should be considering when
I think
when they're trying to, what should they have for home defense?
depending on where you're at, a rifle's probably out of the question. If you live in a residential area and you're shooting, it's probably going to go through several walls. So you got to think about something like that. As far as pistols go, I'm more of a fan of having more rounds of 9mm than 7 rounds of 45 for a defense purpose. And then as far as shotguns go, I have all 3 of these that are possible home defense guns. I've got a 16-inch barrel pump shotgun that holds 7 shells in it.
18-inch, right? You're not illegal.
18, yeah.
Yep.
18-inch. You're right. But yeah, that's the one that sits in close proximity.
FBI, open up.
Got to go buckshot, slug, buckshot, slug.
Oh, you alternate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also have all 3 of these options pretty easily accessible in the event of a home invasion. I don't live in an apartment complex, so there's some space between my place and the next place. So if I putting rounds through walls, I'm less concerned about killing the neighbor's cat. The
Or
I
their ham
l-
loaf. Or
yeah,
killing
I
their
like
ham
to
loaf in the fridge.
yeah, I like I like to tell I like to tell people, if you aren't very familiar with guns, like if you don't go shooting pretty regularly, I think a shotgun is the best option. Because if someone is trying to break into your house, if you feel like you need to defend yourself, your fine motor skills are going to go away. So if you are operating maybe a semi-automatic pistol that requires some amount of fine motor skills, and you haven't practiced with that in stressful environments or just in general, you're not as familiar with that, I think you should be using a shotgun because it is simple. It is racking and stacking, baby. Like you you point the barrel in the direction that you want the round to go, and you pull the trigger, and then you rack another round, and it doesn't matter if you can't feel your fingertips because the adrenaline is pumping through you. It is so simple that you don't really have to think all that much about it. And if you hit someone with a 12 gauge slug or a 12 gauge buckshot from 25 yards or in, they are going to feel it, and they are likely not going to get up. So,
Yeah. I
but
like the shotgun idea there.
I do. But if you don't have a lot of space, if you don't have a lot of space to store a shotgun near you or in an easily accessible spot, a pistol is I think your best option. And if you live out in no man's land like Spencer, having, a 30 or 40 round mag of you know,
We're not
rifle
free here.
rounds is I know if you have a bunch of space and you don't live in the commie state of Illinois, then you know, I think, I mean, if you have an AR-15, putting 30 rounds, easy to put 30 rounds of in a general direction pretty easily, and then reload a mag, and it's hard to beat that. Just how much lead you can put down range with that.
30 rounds of 300 blackout suppressed. Mint.
Yeah, and if you live in a commie state, consider a lever action rifle, I'd say.
Blunderbuss already preloaded.
Get a big musket ball rifle.
Got this cannon loaded with forks.
Yeah.
In the words of Derail of "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" I'm with you, fellas. The there's nothing better than a defense that you don't have to use, in my mind, and that's always been something that's been preached to me via firearm instructors and everything. Is the it's a gun that you don't have to fire is probably the better one for both parties involved as far as longevity of life. And when you have someone that breaks in the middle of the night that it doesn't, it's nice and quiet, and you hear, "Ch- ch," that's enough for you to reconsider your choices. Um, I would say that each firearm is a tool. It has their own use. We use I would recommend a long range a rifle of your choice for the vermin, and I would recommend a shotgun for Vernon that wants to come in.
Yes.
As far as a pistol goes, that I'm not so sure that would be it would be better for close quarters if you're in the house that's doesn't have necessarily an open floor pan. Even then, a pistol would be kind of ideal for closer quarters. However, I believe a shotgun definitely would send a better message than than the other two options.
Yeah, shotgun also doubles as a baseball bat.
As well. And of course, like you boys said, the choices of ammunition, be it um, there's plenty of options of how far you want to send your message. So
How wide do you want your message to go, and how far do you want it to go?
exactly. So there's
And
definitely
and something to consider, a pistol round is also still going to go through some walls. So consider that. And a slug will go through some walls, and a buckshot will go through some walls. So, if you live in an apartment complex, you know, you need to know if you're shooting that you might be sending lead through your neighbor's wall. So, um, like you said, though, Spencer, you don't want to have to use it if you don't have to. And
mhm.
deterring it in the first place is a pump shotgun. It does work pretty well. But um, I'm also not opposed to warning shots. I know they say you shouldn't do warning shots, but I'm not opposed to warning shots. If maybe you're in a high urban density area, putting a round into the ground, if that's going to prevent that person from what was his name, Vernon, from
Vernon.
coming into getting you, I'm not
God
opposed
damn
to
it,
it.
Verd, get the fuck out.
Do you want to keep all your blood in your body? Then you should leave. All right. Um, anyone got any last minute ideas on home defense, or should we move on to the marketplace?
Let's roll.
All right. Show us what the ultimate hunting rig looks like, Jordan. Gosh, I can't get my
Spencer
I'm
can't
s-
see it, so
I'm still I'm still thinking about. I know that this is going to be a Dakota because oh man.
I know that this is going to be a Dakota. Here we got the 2005 Suzuki Mini Truck.
these
This
little
is a
cab
hunting
adorable.
rig.
overs, these little cab overs really instill that little mini trucking vibe that we were talking about earlier in the episode, where that it serves a purpose, but really everybody picks them up to make them look cool, make themselves look cool. That their utility, they're built for utility, but god damn, you can do some cool shit with them.
Do you fit in
Yeah,
these?
I think this fits pretty well with our topic earlier because this is a true mini truck.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is. It's what is it? Right-hand drive. So it was
Yeah.
probably imported at some point.
All these are imported.
A
They're
lot of
getting
them
pretty
are.
popular now. But this one comes
Yeah.
with tracks though.
Yeah.
That's the cool part.
Yeah. Let's see a picture of the tracks.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. It's got heat and AC, and it's
Ca-
4-wheel drive.
camo wrap.
It's got a snorkel.
You'd park it out in the woods and then you'd lose it. You'd have to put a little GPS tracker on it to go back to finding it because it'd disappear.
Put some Hunter Orange racing stripes on it.
Right. I like the little headache rack and like roof rack thing it's got going on too.
I
Yeah,
haven't seen
and
one
that
of those before.
Me either. This one looks pretty neat. I'm
it is.
digging it.
And
It's
you were
going
you were saying that these have the same bolt pattern as side by sides, right? So
yeah, they're I forget which side by side, but it's just a 4-lug axle, so you can get beadlocks from a Razor. Pretty sure it's a Razor, that same bolt pattern as these. That opens your wheel and tire combo up to whatever you want.
that's awesome.
Obviously, if you kept this off road all the time, run basically side by side sticky tires, and you could do whatever you want with this thing.
I think we all need to get one, and then we need to have a mini truck challenge.
Yeah, that's the plan. I think I need a fleet of them for myself. This thing's sweet though. I don't know, but the price tag's a little steep at $15,000, but It
I
seems
understand
to
that it's
be
pretty
what most
expensive
of
to
them.
import these.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
it's pretty much the price range that a lot of these are going for. That are newer models that have options like heat and AC. Some of the older '90s ones don't even have heat in the cab.
If it comes with the tracks, I
It
think
does.
this is a pretty decent deal.
Yeah.
Um,
I
Well,
think
and
the
the nice thing
tracks
is
are
you can
like a
just get side by side
$10,000.
tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not buying like pickup truck tracks for it.
yeah,
I think
that's
you
pretty
can.
cool.
I think these are still road legal, aren't they?
You can plate them. I know.
You just can't go on the
Isn't
highway with them
Yeah.
or the interstate.
I don't think you can plate them here, to be honest.
in Colorado?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be state dependent, but man, pretty
It's
unique.
got a it's got an OHV sticker, so I would
Yeah,
imagine probably not plated.
you know that front bumper would be nice if you could fold it down. If it folds down and you could use it as like a rack to put stuff on the front. I mean, granted, it's got a pickup bed, but it
Say
still would
it's
be.
got a whole pickup bed. What it
Yeah, but
needs
you
is
know what?
does it have a little winch on the roof rack?
It's got a winch on the front.
Not seeing it there. Oh, it's a different picture with the
Yeah,
rack there.
with the
Oh yeah, he has a little winch on the back.
yeah, he does.
That'd be awesome. Just
For
dragging elk into the
dragging
bed.
your elk into the bed. Yeah, yeah. This is a good purpose built little hunting rig.
Put a little electric plow on the front of it too.
Mm-hmm. And you put the tracks on it, and you go late season snow hunting. This would be really nice. Get you back there.
Yeah, I think this would be cool. I'd call this probably a
Really?
deal, but it's not really. The price is a little steep, but
Yeah, it's not a steal, but it's a deal. It's
it's a
unique. I like
deal.
it.
I mean, it's a lot different than getting a side by side or anything like that. You're not getting. It's kind of right between there, between a side by side or a Jeep, really.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be pretty fun to hunt with this with tracks.
Mm-hmm.
You're not spending 40 grand to pick up the new Polaris.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And you still have more utility. Probably won't be as fast, but
Not nearly.
No. Still fun though.
Yeah.
all
All
right.
right. Well, Spencer, let's hear your. It's time for your inflated 2 cents.
Well, boys, I think today's 2 cents here, thanks to with a little bit of inflation with the previous administration, with the current one thinking that my 2 cents ain't worth shit anymore anyway. We I gotta say that today's 2 cents is brought to us by another topic today, where the best defense is one that you don't have to use. You got if you can get your point across, well, I think that'll just be fine. And that's our 2 cents today.
There's Spencer's nickel for you, folks. All right. Well,
Just round up.
this concludes our episode. If you listen to the end here, thanks for listening to us. Give us a like, throw some comments down, subscribe if you can. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you can get the podcast. So we appreciate you listening to us, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is the Triple F Podcast. We're out.
See ya, sucker.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Really canceled.